Once again, my greetings to all of you. I'm sure you must have gone through the first part of the introduction to Middle English period, and in this second part, we have to discuss about the revival of English, the revival of interest in English during this period. In the first part, we have discussed about the neglect of English during this period. First of all, in this video, we have to talk about the Black Death and its impact on masses. It was in the year 1348 when the epidemic of bubonic plague, also known as Black Death, broke out in England. And people died in large numbers because of it. It is said that it was spreaded because of the fleas living on black rats, which somehow came to England, hiding in ships plying from England and Central Asia. And later it spread from one infected person to another. As medicine for this disease was not available, the rich were also not in a better position. If you compare this scenario, this situation, with the present situation we are in, with the current situation the world is facing, we can relate it to it. And what happened during that Black Death, the rich locked themselves down in their mansions, getting away from all those hutments and keeping away themselves from all those poors. This was the period, again, as it is said that it happens in all the epidemics, that the poor people died in large numbers in comparison to rich. So what happened because of this, that the harvests rotted in the fields, as there was no one to gather it. Because of the short supply of laborers, wages went up very high. And because of this, the landlords started tempting laborers from the nearby farms, promising them the better life, the better conditions of work. And because of this demand and supply, the poor people gained the recognition and also the wealth and freedom. The wealth and freedom which they never had before. The importance of a language in society depends on the importance we attach to the users of that language. As the peasants and laborers gained importance in society after the Black Death, their language, that is English language, also gained recognition and importance. The plague killed poor farm laborers in much large numbers than people in many other sections of English society. But that doesn't mean that those numbers were negligible. The truth was that each and every class was suffering. And as there was no medicine available for it, the poor peasants and laborers started going on to the priests and monks for the faith cures. And what happened because of this was that these monks and priests also came in contact with the infected people. As a result, the priests and monks too died in large numbers. The posts vacated by the death of these monks were filled by the English people. And as these English people were from the lower ranks of society, understood no other language than English. These English monks had better instinctual sympathy with the poor laborers and the farmers. And then after this, in the year 1381, the peasants in England rose in revolt. Yes, we are talking about the peasants' revolt. The factor that ignited this revolt was the poll tax imposed by the parliament between 1377 and 1381. Poll tax, that is POLL, poll tax. There was the revolt against this act, and we can say that this was not the only reason. The peasants were against the class distinctions of the time too. We can say that the peasants were becoming increasingly restless because of the undeserved supremacy of French-speaking people, the French-speaking aristocrats rather. A priest called John Ball, that is Johnball, John Ball, the English priest, stated in all his preachings that the systems of landed aristocracy in England should be abolished and that all the lands should be taken away from the lords and bishops and distributed among the poor. So, a bloody revolt broke out. And the imposition of the collection of the poll tax created much more anguish among the people. But finally, the revolt was, we can say, was crushed, but it had its own impact. John Ball was executed. This revolt ultimately came to end, but a new system known as copyhold, 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 came into existence. And according to this new system, the peasants were only required to pay rent for the land cultivated by them, and they were no longer obliged to work for the landlords. After the death of the father, the son inherited the land on the payment of a fee. The land cultivated by the peasant was thus virtually owned by the peasant under the terms and conditions of a perpetual lease. The peasants thus acquired the status of the free man and also gained the respect of his own. As stated earlier, as I told earlier, that the status of a language depends on the status of its users. After the revolt, the peasants' status in the society became much better and higher than before, and this change in their status led to an inevitable change in the status of their language, which since the Norman conquest had constantly been neglected. and even despised as the language of the poor and the downtrodden. Now, talking about the loss of Normandy, King John, who ascended the throne of England in the year 1199, developed a relationship of hostility with King Philip of France, which ultimately led to the war, where John was defeated. And we know that how, in spite of being a ruler of England, how these Normans were attached to Normandy. And we know that whomsoever was the king of England was also the Duke of Normandy. After the loss of Normandy, it was on the nobles to decide whether they wanted to go back to their roots in France or develop new roots in England. Many of the nobles went back to France, and the majority decided to stay back in England. And they gradually switched from French to English as the language of their day-to-day communication. The position of English in England became stronger now than it was soon after the Norman conquest. Now, moving on to the 100 Years' War. In the year 1336, England started a long war with France, which continued until 1453. Although it lasted for about 117 years, it is popularly known as 100 Years' War. It was Edward III who started this war, but it continued for generations after his death in the year 1377. There were some remarkable victories for England. For example, the Battle of Agincourt in the year 1450, where the French were slaughtered like sheep in a terrible and damaging defeat, with only 400 casualties on English side. But under the miraculous leadership of a peasant girl in France called as Joan of Arc, under her leadership, the French defeated England, who were under the much better position. And finally, in the year 1453, English accepted their defeat in the war, and their dream of conquering France was shattered forever. But the Englishness that emerged at the end of the 100 Years' War led to a patriotic revival of interest in English language. The English language did not have any longer utterly subdued status that it had soon after the Norman conquest. Now it became a symbol of people's national hopes and aspirations. English as a language was started being used in the parliaments, in the law courts, and as in the previous video I pointed out that French was used as the medium of instructions in schools and Latin as the medium of instruction in the universities until about the middle of the 14th century. During the second half of the 14th century, however, the situation started changing very fast, and by the end of the 14th century, English became the medium of instruction in nearly all grammar schools in England. So, with this, we find the revival of English in England during this period. We will discuss about the characteristics of Middle English period in the next video. Thank you.